Hi kids, welcome to Kids World. Today I have an interesting story for you. Come, let's go into the video. Once in a country, there lived a big businessman who was manufacturing his innovative cars and was acquiring the hearts of the people through his innovations around the world. His name was Bandia. He was very generous and kind. He was contributing a larger amount of his earnings to the poor people. He used to allocate certain sum of his earnings to the education of the poor children, and he used to employ only the young poor chaps for his company and trained them automatically and helped their families indirectly. As he was an efficient businessman, he could make a larger progress of his company. In the same country, there lived another businessman called Saga. He was also a very big manufacturer of different varieties of cars, and he was equally talented and efficient businessman. Both of them were tough competitors among themselves. Saga was an arrogant and haughty person. He never bent his head down for anyone. He never helped any of his fellow men. He disliked poverty and the poor people connected with this poverty. He always wanted to stay in the midst of rich people. So he used to select rich society chaps for his company. In his lifestyle, he did not know the meaning of helping others as he was very selfish. His haughty nature generally separated the people around him from him. Once, Bandia had some trials to invent a special car from his company. For that trial, he needed some more amount of money which he cannot afford for this new invention. So he decided to get some amount of money from his friend John, who was one of the biggest millionaire in the world. When he decided to borrow some amount of money from John, he went to John's home and had a conversation with him.
John, I am badly in need of a big amount of money for my new model car. So, if you don't bother, can I ask you to offer me some money as debt?
No, my friend, not at all. I never bother about helping you who like to help others. I'll give you money as debt next week.
Thank you so much for helping me, my friend.
It's my pleasure, Bandia.
This news of John helping Bandia by lending his money had been spreaded all over the country. Immediately, Saga also wanted to invent his new car, which he had stopped due to lack of money. So, Saga and Co. also wanted to borrow some amount of money for their company's development. Saga was also a close friend of John. So, Saga went to John's home.
My dear John, I have come here to borrow some money for the development of my company through my new inventions. If you offer me money, I will return it back in few months.
I don't bother offering you, my dear friend, but already I have promised Bandia that I would lend him money. I can lend either you or Bandia because I have only that much amount of money to lend. I cannot lend you both.
So, what do you come to say?
Let me conduct a test between both of you. Let me find out who has the capacity to borrow money from me. Then I will offer any one of you. Next week you come here. I will decide whom to give my debt.
Next week, Bandia and Saga were in hypertension without knowing the mind of John. He did not know to whom he should give the money, but he had announced both Bandia and Saga that he would conduct a test before lending money. So both of them came there with the tongue-tip knowledge of their new inventions, thinking that John might test their intellectual power. The day of John fixed for borrowing money had come. Both Bandia and Saga had come there in time. They both met the assistant manager of John. The assistant manager said,
Gentlemen, our boss is not well He has headache. So he is sleeping now. Let him take rest for 10 more minutes. So I'll wake him up 8 o'clock. Till then you can sit inside the room.
Both of them thanked the assistant manager. When they entered the room, they noticed John was lying down in his bed. John was in sound sleep. There was a chair kept at the corner of the room. When Saga watched that chair, he hurried that corner to take the chair and kept it at the leg side of the John who was lying down in the bed. Without hesitation, Bandia sat down on the floor near the head side of the John, which means Bandia sat down nearer to John's face. After 10 minutes, assistant manager woke up John. When John opened his eyes, he could notice Bandia sitting in front of him, and John was happy to see Bandia sitting elegantly and humbly on the floor, whereas John could notice Saga proudly sitting cross-legged on the chair. John smiled at Saga, and there was an intention behind the smile. John's glance at Saga is seen as disrespectful and rude, which is seen as establishing dominance and displaying overconfidence. John got up and sat properly on his bed. Now Saga
John,
came near
I
John
only
and
came
asked,
earlier to meet you, so I am the absolute person who has to get your help.
You are right that you came earlier to meet me, but the truth is I first met Bandia because he was sitting near my face on the floor. So when I opened my eyes, I was able to look at his face. So I met him earlier.
Okay, leave that. You told me that you will be holding a test to ensure our fitness. I am ready to provide all sorts of answers for whatever questions you shoot at me.
But I am not ready to shoot questions. I have already noticed your activities. When I opened my eyes, Bandia was sitting on the floor without any pride. His simplicity and humble nature attracted me towards him. Your insolent nature frustrated me like anything. Try to change your attitude, because in this world, elegancy, simplicity, and generosity always win the hearts. So I am going to give away and lend my money to Bandia.
At last, Saga lost his chance of getting the debt from John, and he felt sorry for his activity and apologized to John as well as Bandia. So, children, can you understand the moral of the story? Always try to be humble and generous towards people around you, which will bring victory to you always. Adamance and insolence will leave you alone in your life. Be generous and be kind to people around you, which will bring positive energies around you. Children, I hope you like this story. If you like this story, tell your parents to subscribe this channel Kids World and share this video. Next time I'll come along with some other video. Thank you so much.